What's up guys, this is ScoopMan5000. Today we're back for another action figure review, and we're finishing off Mando week with the star of the show himself. This is The Mandalorian, Beskar Armor. So this is the most recently released up-to-date version of The Mandalorian. Obviously when the show first started, we had the armor that was based on the first couple of episodes where it was all mishmash of different armor pieces, but obviously one or two episodes in, he gets the Beskar, he gives it to the armor, and he gets the brand new shiny suit. We didn't have this figure for a while, he only just came out maybe a month or two ago, but that is some perfect timing leading into Season 2, where he's going to be starting out the season wearing this armor. I'm sure he's going to be getting more upgrades throughout the show, but for now, this is pretty much what he looks like at the time of recording in Episode 1 of Season 2. So while it's the figure that's been out for the longest, I don't think there's a better way to cap off Mando week than taking a look at the Mando himself. The packaging here is the brand new standard for Star Wars The Black Series, and you get a little splash of color. In this case, it's like a dark orange to represent the Mandalorian. You could see a window, which shows off most of what you're going to get. Star Wars Black Series up top. On the side, at an angle, you get the portrait of the Mandalorian looking all nice. On the other, you just get an extension of the window. You get the render, and you get the read-up, which says his body is shielded by Beskar armor, his face is hidden behind a T-visored mask, and his past is wrapped in mystery. No one is quite sure who this well-equipped stranger is. And this figure is actually number 1 as part of the new numbering system for the Black Series. There's your UPC on the bottom. This guy's been hitting Target, and I'm sure some other stores. I actually ordered mine off of Big Bad Toy Store. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this guy out of the packaging, and let's get a closer look at the Mandalorian. And here's Mando out of the packaging, and for accessories, he's got just about everything you're going to need, starting out with his iconic pistol. And his pistol is just a reissue of the one from the previous figure, and it also does holster into his belt if you do want to display it like that. And the same thing's going to go for his rifle, which is obviously based on the original Boba Fett rifle design from the cartoon. Again, it's the same one from the previous figure, and it has the same feature where it pegs into the back if you wanted to have an over-the-shoulder look. In comparison to the carbonized figure, the rifle pegs in much more solid, because on the carbonized figure, it falls right out, but it seems like a lot more secure of a connection here. And that is because there's some new tooling here to account for the jetpack, which is the big new accessory for the Beskar armored version of the Mandalorian. And the jetpack, a bit of a dark color, and also the cape and the jetpack don't really work well together like they do in real life, but it's still a cool accessory, and you gotta have it with this finale version of the Mandalorian. And what I actually want to do is bring in the carbonized version, which has been my main version so far. I haven't picked up the base version of this original suit. And when you bring in both versions of the Mandalorian, you can see that there actually isn't that much sculpt shared between them. Where you're actually getting repeat parts is with the belt here, with the leg pauldrons, and then also with the lower legs and the boots almost entirely. And then some other smaller parts like the hands and maybe parts of the arms. But for most of this upper armor, it's brand new sculpt. And even the helmet is a different sculpt. You could see it pretty clearly from the side here. The differences in size. Go to the other side, you could see the same thing. But the armor, you can see the chest plate has a lot more shape to it. The shoulder armor is a bit bigger. And even the wrist gauntlets, which they honestly could have done the same sculpt, and not a lot of us would have noticed. But you could even see some sculpted detail here, where it's got those flying darts that come out of his wrist. Everything like that. You could see the other side of the wrist is also brand new sculpt. But we'll go ahead and get the carbonized figure out of the way for now, and we'll look at the brand new Beskar armor. And this is a figure that definitely deserves to be carbonized, because that's really, the color here isn't terrible, but it really deserves to be shiny like a carbonized figure, because that's how it looks in the show. But the helmet here, you can see it definitely looks a little bit smaller, but overall I think it looks good. You could get the turnaround on that. And then for the torso, you got his main Mandalorian chest piece. This one's a lot more angular than the original design. The shoulder armor is probably the most noticeable difference from both suits. These are a lot more pointed up, they stick out more. They have this line going down the middle, and then on this side of the shoulder, you even get the little stamp that the armorer gave him as a protector for Baby Yoda, which is a really nice detail. You see that leads into the gauntlets here. On each side, you get a better look at those. The gloves are actually the same sculpt as well. They're a bit darker than the original figure. I think this lower torso piece is also reused, which leads into the belt. It's a rubber overlay piece, and it's got these little flap sides at the bottom of it too. That's where the holster is going to be, and that's also going to be where the support for the gun peg is going to be up here. And then to the lower legs, like I said, that's where most of the reuse is coming in. This plate on the leg here especially, you can see is the exact same one, and it's taken even more abuse in the time between this suit and this suit, which is towards the end of the season. And then he's kind of got this asymmetry going on the bottom here. The different knee pads, this one's probably more for getting a kneeling gun pose. He's got a smaller Beskar plate on this side, so I guess there wasn't enough Beskar to complete the suit, so we had to have an old piece. And then the boots, everything like that is the same on the previous figure. It got some nice detail to it. I especially like these capsules in the boot here. On the strap, we'll quickly get a better look at the back. You can see the back plate has these large holes that you can insert the jetpack into. This is where the gun's going to insert, and there isn't too much detail on the back. You're just getting a better look at his undersuit. And then the cape here is the exact same from the previous figure, and like that, it's a big rubber piece. It's annoying and probably should get replaced. But that's going to cover the look of the Mandalorian, so now we'll go ahead and do some articulation. And despite being different sculpts around this area, it's the same articulation setup for the head, so the neck and the head are articulated. With that, you're getting all sorts of range of motion. He's going to look back that much. And honestly, this could be better because he's a flying character, but I could see why that's hindered. He's going to look down that much. And like I said, full range of motion here. The torso's on a low ball joint to account for this armor design, so all the movements coming at the lower area around the waist. That being said, a very good range of motion. He's looking back that much, crunching forward that much, and he's got all sorts of side movement. The shoulders are going to swivel and hinge. The armor plates go on top of the torso piece when you do articulate this, so you can get him past 90 degrees, but it does kind of warp these plates a little bit, so I'm not going to do that too much. The elbows are single, but they're really deep, so you're getting about 90 degrees. That's almost perfectly 90, actually. And then for the wrists, you got hinges and swivel. This side is a weapon moving hand with up and down, and the other side is a more traditional side-to-side movement. Mando's going to split almost all the way. He's going to have kick back, not very much. Forward's pretty good. Upper thigh cut hidden by those plates. He's got double jointed knees. Looks like there'd be a boot cut here, but you got nothing. You're getting a hinge and an ankle rocker at his boot. And that's going to cover the Mandalorian, so now we'll go ahead and do my favorite part, and let's do some comparison. Starting out with some characters from the Mandalorian, we got the Mandalorian version of the Stormtrooper, and then also the carbonized original version of the Mandalorian. You could see their heights are about the same because of the parts reuse. And then here he is with the OG Mandalorians. We got Boba Fett. This is the carbonized version we took a look at this week, and what a good decision that was. And then we also have Jango Fett from the Gaming Greats line. And I will say, all their helmets seem weirdly different size. Mando seems a lot smaller, especially than Jango Fett's, and Boba Fett's is about in between. So that's a little bit weird, but overall, I love having all three of these guys together. And then here he is with the heavy infantry Mandalorians. We got the Credit Collection, who we just took a look at earlier this week. And then we also have the original version, appropriately much bigger than Mando himself. And then finally, here he is with the other Credit Collection figures, being Cara Dune and IG-11, and then also the child in the middle. And overall, that's going to do it for your look at the Beskar Mandalorian. And with that, the conclusion of Mando Week. So if you have missed any of the reviews, we looked at the newest Credit Collection figures, the Heavy Mando, IG-11, and Cara Dune. We looked at carbonized Boba Fett, and now this version of The Mandalorian. And today is the day finally Mandalorian Season 2 dropped, and what an episode it was. A lot of things I didn't expect right off the bat, and definitely an ending that'll have us talking in anticipation for the rest of this season. I know this season we also got rumors of like Ahsoka and all sorts of other extended Star Wars characters, and I can't wait to see what they do in the show. And I especially can't wait to get more Mandalorian figures. I know on the way there's like the Armorer, the Incinerator Trooper. Then we also just recently got revealed the new retro figures, and then also the Djarin and Baby Yoda 2-pack, where it's got the unmasked Mandalorian, which looks a little rough, but I don't think it's that bad. But suffice to say, there is no shortage of Mandalorian content to enjoy out there. If you've seen the newest episode, let me know what you think of that in the comments. Of course, go back and watch the rest of Mando Week if you missed out. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.